How do you find that grit within? Well, I'm going to be honest. There are some people that will never find this. They're soft. And that's okay. There are people who have had every sort of situation laid out for them and had not had to really figure things out for themselves. And I was actually one of those people, admittedly. You could look at my life and go, up until a certain age, minimal trials and tribulations. So I have been one of those soft people. For whatever reason in my DNA, I felt that I had to explore entrepreneurship. I felt this at a young age when I was a teenager, and I took my belongings to a flea market and sold them. Drove my mom crazy. But that's the kind of person that I have been striving to be. But I also have had very lazy moments and times in my life where my parents did a lot for me. They did the heavy lifting, the work. I really didn't have to think about how to hustle. I am so grateful for everything that my parents did for me, and I wish everyone could experience that. Ironically, raising my own kid, I wasn't able to do the same for him. I went out on a limb at every chance I could to try and afford him opportunity that otherwise we wouldn't be able to try and do. And my parenting philosophy was one of fueling his passions. And that was it. That was at my core. If he loves to do it, I'm going to keep trying to figure out ways that he can do something. Okay, so that was a grittiness that was based on my love for my child, like most of us have. Those of us who love someone, you know how this feels. If it's your spouse, your partner, a kid, if you know how to love like that, that is a certain type of grit that you would do whatever it takes. Now, some people will say that our society is sick in that we only take care of those we love at the cost of others. There are people in this world who are a mensch, and they live their lives so that they can uplift as many people as possible. So people like that do exist. And what I'm talking about today is grit, and the fact that not everybody has it, but there are different types of grit. Some people have so much love for the world, that is where they find their fire. It's not that they had to struggle, but they will go and struggle to try and uplift those who they want to uplift, whether it is at a societal level or a familial one. I found certain grit in that I like to be challenged. I like to think about things that I have not thought about before, systems that may not have been introduced to me via plain and everyday means, knowledge that I had to go out, hunt for, and kill, and get for myself. Those are the kinds of things that intrigue me. I get bored if I don't learn new things, take on new challenges, etc. So I do have a certain amount of grit, not the most of anyone you've ever met, but there were only certain levels to my grit. Some things politically have happened in my life where I have had to dig much deeper than I had before. Certain things of a political nature, certain things that have happened in my circle, my society, my family, where I've gone, I don't know how I'm going to survive, but guess what? I came out on the other side of that. Okay, all the things that have happened in my life, and people have gone through much worse. Okay, so there's this magical thing that happens to you if you decide to see it. Even if you're going through hell, whatever your hell is called, if it's a death of a loved one, if it's a lawsuit, if it is a political or business downfall and rebirth, whatever it is, there is always a solution. There is always an outcome, and you have to start thinking of this. It's okay for you to go through crazy stuff. If it's health issues for you, you can go into the depths of that, feel what you've got to feel, but you have to learn how to not let this damage your foundation or your core, whatever it's called for you. And a lot of people don't know how to do that because they haven't had to do it yet. But I'm telling you, you are stronger than you think. Some of you can be soft and live and die that way, and that is no problem. That's fine. Even generations of you. And that's amazing because you will have your contribution to society because of your unique perspective. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to tell you that there is something wrong with that. I wish that for everyone, actually. If that is where you are in life, I just want to give you a hug also, because there's nothing wrong with it. And I think it's precious, and I would love to keep the world in such a state. But for the rest of us, I want you to be prepared, not to have fear, but to somehow dig deep enough so that you know there is nothing that life can throw at you that is going to keep you from your course of greatness. That is a fact. No matter if it's health related, financial, etc., whatever it is that you're grappling with, you can get through it with the mindset of winning. You can get through it with dignity and do it on your terms. So don't feel that there is no way to get through these types of things no matter what it is. I know that there can be some very dark things that happen in our lives and it feels like we are alone. You are not alone. You can be with other people if you choose to be. And I am telling you, please, please, please stick around to tell your story to someone. You have no idea that what you're going through, this horrible thing, might end up being someone else's salvation. So yes, things can hurt, things can maim, things can affect us. Life can have its scars, but man, bless those scars because they can help another. You can get through whatever you're going through with dignity. And I just wanted to tell you that if you are faced with something where you do have to show that you have grit, I believe in you and your ability to do it.
You've been listening to the Social Strength Founders Podcast by Sydney Washington, as she breaks down her assessment of our company, our performance, and next step. If you are interested in learning how Sydney and her company can help you take your business or personal performance to the next level, make sure you reach out in the comments area or connect with us on Facebook.